first look here, first wave of numbers. We can tell you a few things about what this electorate looks like. Democratic side, let's start with that. The key point to remember here tonight, Indiana is an open primary state. You don't have to be a registered Democrat to participate. What we're seeing is that more than 1 in 5 voters here on the Democratic side are independents tonight, 22% of them. Now, as a rough guide, what we've been seeing in all the contests before tonight, there's been a pretty stark divide here. Among registered Democrats in all the contests before tonight, Clinton has been crushing Sanders. Sanders' big weapon in this contest has been when independents are allowed to vote. In open primary states like Indiana, he's been beating her by nearly 30 points. So that's key to remember tonight. More than 1 in 5, it looks like, are going to be independents in that Democratic race. There's also this, the changing Democratic electorate. We've seen this across the board this year. Look back to 2008, the last time they had a big Democratic primary in Indiana. 40%, just under 40% of the Democratic voters back then called themselves liberal. Fast forward to 8 years later, 70%. Jesus. This is a state Democratic Party that looks a lot more liberal now than it did 8 years ago at the start of the Obama presidency. On the Republican side, here's what we can show you. This is always a key question. What percentage of the electorate tonight is white evangelical Christian? 55% is the answer, according to our exit poll. That's higher than the average. The average is 48% in all previous contests, so that's a key point. And then there's also this. There's the question of party unity when this is all over. If Donald Trump emerges as the nominee, we asked Indiana Republican voters today, will you definitely vote for him? 55% said they would. Another 21% said they'd probably vote for him. So what that means basically is 3 out of 4 Republicans tonight saying, yeah, I'll vote for him if he's the nominee in the fall. But that also means 22% saying they won't vote for him. And that 22%, it is coming. Look at this. Non-Trump voters, people who did not vote for Donald Trump today in the Indiana Republican primary, nearly half of them, Chris, saying they will not support him in November. If Donald Trump is the Republican nominee, he needs to get that number in Indiana and elsewhere. He needs to get that number down. That'll be his first priority if he becomes the nominee.
Great, Steve. We're going to see more of you throughout the night. Steve Kornacki. Amy?
Hi.
And Chris.
Hello.
Anyway, Amy Waters, national editor of the Cook Report and MSNBC political contributor, also Washington Post political reporter and founder of The Fix. That's a blog. Chris Saler. You know what strikes me? The whole thing is the certitude of people, the absolute nature of people. Liberal. Proud of the word. I mean, not many years ago, the word was unspeakable, ineffable. You don't say that word liberal. Now, proudly saying it, 70%. A big boost in acknowledgement of it. That's the first thing. The other one is, I'm not going to vote for Trump. I voted against him then, I'm going to vote against him tomorrow. Absolute, I don't believe this stuff because people change their minds.
They do.
What do you make of the certitude of expression, I should say, to the exit pollsters?
Well, look, I think that Bernie Sanders has allowed, and Elizabeth Warren before him, has allowed a lot of Democrats to re-embrace a term that they had already been feeling and to reestablish what that term meant. And now liberal is not just about culturally and socially, it's all about economic equality, $15 minimum wage, a rigged corporate system. That is different than what the term liberal meant 20, 30 years ago.
What did it mean 20, 30 years ago?
I think it was considered something that was outside of the mainstream. These considered much more.
I'm not sure the facts have changed. I'm not sure the facts have changed. I think people's needs have changed. People's needs are more stressed now. People, single mothers, for example, want help with daycare. They want better education. They want more government. They don't like to say government. They want more action. But
on the other end, you see a success of, look, I don't think he's going to win tonight, but I think Ted Cruz's campaign broadly has to be looked at as a success. And the basic argument behind Ted Cruz's campaign is there's too much government, we need to get rid of it. So, I mean, I just think what you see with the liberal thing, I think you see both parties moving to their ideological
They know who they are.
Exactly.
And when they say liberal, they don't squeamishly, I know the word progressive now covers a lot of the waterfront, but the word liberal, they're quite proud of it. Conservative hasn't changed. That's the same word we've heard since we were born.
But we've seen this. I mean, this is not unique to Indiana. We've seen people IDing as liberal moving up from the 2012 election until now. But Amy's right. The willingness to be a standard bearer of that name, to proudly stand up and do that. Elizabeth Warren set the pace, and then Bernie Sanders in this campaign has seized it. I think it is powerful and has given people a flag to rally around.
Is Hillary Clinton, do we have a poll on whether Hillary Clinton is considered a liberal? By liberals. By those who say they are.
She's liked by liberals. She's not loved, but she's liked.
She's doing
Is she
as
considered
well
one of
better
them? Is she
among
one of them?
liberals. I don't know, but I
That's
think
a big question, though, isn't it?
Well, yes,
Ted Cruz is a conservative among conservatives.
Yes, but Chris, and this is the thing that, just to tie it back to that for what, the number of people say they won't, 22% say they won't vote for Trump among Republican voters. Is Hillary Clinton considered a liberal among liberals? The answer to that is probably not. Is she more liberal and more in line than Donald Trump? Yes. And this is the same thing with the Trump numbers. Yes, sure, 1 in 5 people today on May 3rd say, I'm not going to be for Trump. When the choice is Trump or Hillary Clinton.
Just like the president on Saturday night. Steak or fish.
Right.
Steak or fish.
Yeah, one or the
say
other.
Paul Ryan.
It's a binary choice.
That was a very funny thing he did. It's also very truthful. Let me ask you about the thing about on the Republican side. People are really melding on this issue. Not necessarily positively, but they're becoming accepting of Trump. They're now saying in the polling consistently 2-1, they say whoever gets the most, forget the 1237, whoever gets the most.
The winners win.
Yeah, because democracy has been taught to us.
That's also how it works. We've been watching this. You have to forever. Whoever starts getting the momentum looks like a winner. People want to be on the winning team. No one wants to cheer for the losing team. We all want to be on the bandwagon. That is part of what that is in the. And there's also.
Did you like that piece? This weekend by Jeremy Peters of the Times. It really said that the miscalculation of the Cruz people, we'll be the last opponent standing. Yeah, the trouble is by the time you're the last one standing, there was such momentum for the other
the train
guys.
is going too fast.
Yeah. You can't stop it.
It's to Amy's point about human nature. There were a lot more self-identified Los Angeles Lakers fans 10 years ago than there are today, right? Because the Lakers won 13 games this year and they were winning
Everybody's a
World
Red Sox fan.
Right. I mean,
Everybody's
that
a
is
Red Sox.
You know the old
see
story
that
about
with
Kennedy.
everyone.
Kennedy beat Nixon. They asked people a week or two later to vote
won
for
by 40 points.
They voted for Kennedy.
You always see that we always talk about this. You see that in every poll that comes out post-election. Who did you vote for? And it's like Obama 57, Romney 43. I'm like, I don't remember that was the margin, but that's how we think.
Okay,
and
let's
that's
ask
this
you
whole
a tough
idea
one. It's a pundit question. It's not opinion. It's a pundit question. Who's going to stay in this race longer, Bernie or Cruz?
Well, I have an answer, but I want to hear yours.
Okay. Bernie stays in.
Right to the end.
Right to the end. There's no reason to get out. He hasn't put the stake in the ground in the way that Cruz has.
He's got numbers and he's got stuff.
He's got money.
I think Cruz gets out sooner because I thought the Cruz we saw today was a very frustrated,
unanimity has been
angry
achieved
Cruz.
here.